Hi, everyone, and welcome. It's Karen Newman, and this is the Saturday Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It is Saturday, April the 6th, 2019, and we have today with us Jim Charles channeling. I'd like to introduce first the room who we have on the Google room. We have Christine, Dawn, we have Marlena, Michelle, Pamela, Reinhard, Stephanie, Yad, and myself. And who do you have in your room, Jim?
I have Angela, Barbara, Margie, James, Jack, and Ray.
Oh, perfect. Well, welcome everyone who is watching, and welcome everyone watching on the YouTube. I just want to start with some announcements, just so you know. We have our very world famous book now that's garnering more and more positive reviews on Amazon. It's called From the Galaxy with Love, a Worker's Handbook, a Lightworker's Handbook. I have a cat that's standing up waiting for it to occur. You can purchase that on Amazon.com in printed form, on Kindle, and also an audio book. It's a beautiful, beautiful sharing of Max and of Jim's channelings and additional text by Max. It's a really beautiful offering that they've given us, and it basically explains everything to do with the galactic relationships that we have and how to walk in the world based on the truths that have been channeled over Jim's many channelings. So please check that out. Coming up in August 8th through the 12th, we have the 5th Ascension workshop that's going to take place in Rochester, New York. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Jim? What does that involve?
Actually, I think it's the 4th.
It's the 4th. Okay, it's the 4th one, but I'm thinking forward already. It's the
4th. It's going to be in the Victor Canandaigua area, which is very close to Rochester. It's going to be from the 8th to the 12th. It's going to be in the Finger Lakes Hotel, which is really nice and has a lot of amenities. They have a swimming pool, they have a restaurant, and they have a bar. They have the several different things. It's very nice. Yeah. We've been there many times already just to look at it, and we're going to probably do a little commercial from there. But we haven't done that yet. We're still working on the itinerary, because it's going to be a different itinerary than we've ever had before. There's going to be magic there. There's going to be some other things that haven't been there before. What did you?
I was going to say I've started pretty much working on the on the schedule. Some things on the schedule: magic, galactic language. Max is going to do history of
our history of the galaxy, which means our connection to the galaxy through what he knows about the history of Earth and the galaxy.
Chakras, an in-depth. We all know chakras, but and more in-depth, and how it actually works with the energy healing.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So, and we will probably have some galactic energy healing, yes. A little bit of refresher for those who want it.
Oh, galactic sign language.
And we're looking in gathering galactic sign language, which is we're not sure if that's going to be a class yet. I'm still working on gathering the symbols from 𝗪𝗪, and it's hard for us to put them into a form that can be taught, because you really can't use a book form for those. You can, but to make the book form would be like, I need like 2 years to do the diagrams and things of that nature.
Right? Is it sign language or like mudras that you use during meditation, or is it actually communication?
Well, it's the galactic sign language for those that are telepathic and do not speak anymore. So they have to have a way to communicate with those that still do speak and are not telepathic.
Okay.
So it is galactic. It's a galactic sign language that we should know for when first contact comes, because there will be those that will be fully telepathic and we're not telepathic yet. So the only way we'd be able to communicate with them is through this sign language. And that's the only way they would be able to communicate with us. So, and you have to learn it, because so many people in the galaxy are connected with the different kinds of beings and species that it's become a requirement for the galactic people to learn this galactic sign language. So we're trying to get at least 20 to 25 symbols to make it worthwhile.
Wow, how interesting. Okay, so Galactic Sign Language will also be part of the Ascension Workshop.
Well, we hope so. We're
Yeah.
still gathering it.
It may be a class later on its own. So
Yes, maybe after that, but that's something new and interesting.
Okay, perfect. And then going forward, also for the people in Australia who would be interested in learning the galactic energy healing, Laura Kurt will be offering a class. So if you have interest in that, please contact Hucolo to just, is that what we're doing? We're gathering interest in that class?
Yes, it's on the North Coast. Queens, I wish you were here. I can't remember the name of the place.
Land, maybe?
Queensland, that's it.
Okay.
Queensland North Coast is where she's at.
Okay, so she'll be doing it online or she'll be doing it there live?
She's going to be doing it online. She's going to be doing it in person there. She's already taught this class before. And so I'm really letting a lot of people that are letting people know in that area that there's somebody really qualified to teach it there. She's taken the teaching class and she's a really wonderful teacher. So if you really want to learn it, you're in Australia or New Zealand, Queensland North Coast is where Laura is. Get in contact with her. And if you don't know her email and all that, get in touch with me and I'll put you in touch with her.
Okay, so contact Jim then through Human Colony. You can find his email address on the website, so hucolo.org, and then if you would look under sessions, you will find Jim and all of his information.
And so also I'm having a Galactic Energy Healing class on May 18th and 19th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Right now we have only 4 or 5 people that are signed up for or interested in it. No one's really signed up for it yet, but if you are interested in that, please let us know, because I would like to make it a very inexpensive class, but if it's only a few people, it would be more expensive. So I'd like to make it less expensive for everyone.
Okay.
And if you would like to take it, please let me know.
Yes. So again, contact Jim through hucolo.org and you can let him know that you're interested in his Galactic Energy Healing class on the 18th and 19th of May.
Did you want to say anything about the Canadian class?
There's going to be the Heart and Solstice in June up in Canada, Ottawa. And it will be the Galactic Energy Healing class. It will be singing bowls, a gathering for meditation, and the healing energies, a healing share as well.
All food will be vegan. It'll be a vegan feast up there because they want to keep it very pure and clear. And so they have quite a few people signed up for that already.
Yes, it's almost.
And I will be there.
Oh,
I will be there teaching the Galactic Energy Healing to that group. And there will also be private sessions, and there will also be a lot of other things happening, singing bowls and healing, and just I'm sensing that it's going to be a really high vibrational thing.
And what is the dates of that?
June 21,
22 and 23.
Yep.
Okay.
21 through 23. 21 through 23.
Okay. Perfect.
I thought I put that. But
you will see Pretty Cat. He keeps jumping up in the way. So just going forward, we do have a lot of requests, so I'll just run off through the list. Or do you want to should I do that after the blessing?
No, go ahead and read that.
Okay. The requests are Council of Nine, Elijah, Marianne, from the Dolphin High Council, Yogananda, 𝗪𝗓, Buddha, info about walk-ins, also getting an update on protecting sacred sites like in Machu Picchu, also contact with one of the 13 skulls. And some other ones that came in from the YouTube were Pleiadians, that's from Peter P. Pleiadians Athena, also a blue Pleiadian, and the Archangel Moroni. And I think that's everybody so far. So you have a huge list to.
Yes. The archangel's name is Moroni.
Moroni, thank you.
Yes, Moroni.
Not Moroni. That's like if he was an Italian.
And actually, the angel Moroni was first seen in the area in which I live now.
Okay. All right.
Because that's where the Mormon faith began.
Oh, that's the one that gave the information to
Joseph Smith, yeah.
Right. Okay. All right.
John Smith, Joseph Smith, whatever his name is. Yes.
I attended the Mormon church a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't have any more of that.
Okay, perfect. So we have in your room, we've got Barbara, and we have who else is going to do blessings?
We have two in my room. We have Barbara and Angie. Anybody else want to give blessings?
From the.
I'll do a blessing.
Who's that?
Lisa?
Temple. Yep.
Okay, Temple will do a blessing. So
Excellent.
your
Thank
room,
you,
we'll
Lisa.
come to our room, and then Christine will seal the deal for us.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Barbara.
Tokuanati kisia tokoamata. Iata kisinia troata. Ianati kikiato. Uanati kisia tokoa. Yamaniata kisiki. Iata kosiana kutuiata. Ianaki kuanaria. Iana koa.
Dear ones, open your hearts and minds. Let the information of the universe come to you. Let the love of God be your guide, and let it speak to your hearts and bring the information in properly so that you may understand with eyes open all the things that are happening within you and without you, and around you and throughout all eternity. Angie?
Kikakwan yatatuku isian nukuya. Yakati yamaniati yakatatukuya. Moai mai waiti. Kakakui shishima waiti. Ipa kukua ani atakoa. Ashkama ani wakua ani yataku. Ima wataku shimawata. Iti oshimu kadetiki I atanodukua.
Laughter, joy, and lightness of heart are important on your voyage and on your journey. If you are too serious, then you may find you losing your way to some other ideas or ideologies. You must always have a light heart so that God can speak through your joy and be an example through you to others.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Undushutaya sanaki kuo obojia akatasa. Na yoto bogia na tiati shikia. Mulu unojoga azanata. Ianatu pu ukukolaya. Na siti tata uabuku janatitia kanata. Nala bua na siti anasata. Ushunu haya lama nana. Kua bojiniata nia sanana. Kuolati ta a kukoamata. Namaste.
There are so many things out here that you do not know or see. But we are all a part of all things, and we wish you the best in your vibration to understand and be part of the Godhead as we know it. Lighten your hearts and bring forth a great understanding of who He is, because He has many faces and He has many thoughts. Bring yourself into a vibration that can be of great understanding and joy, love and peace. Conquer all that is negative within you, for it is to be that the positivity will win on your world and be a part of the greatest future. Wow, that was an interesting interpretation. I can tell that there was a lot of words there that did not interpret into the human language exactly, but that they brought forth the best interpretation possible. That was interesting.
It was interesting. It was different. It had a different feel to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it had a very different feel to it, and I felt that as well.
Yeah. Michelle also has a blessing, if that's okay.
All right, Michelle.
Meso saka ta ashukota tenenea, sea tatatanea, tuku o sea tatia suko o sha, mea tateke sukuta tenenea, o to osake ananaya sa. Mea taka ananaya su uchutke ese, titi enanaya to usaka a pamanene to o, sa a te enanayete. Tutatanaya to ko shukata te ese, tutukupe. Patanaya tite o shukatatanaya toto sea mama yeta toko sananaya esa kutu shakatatanaya teke esa monanaya sa niatate esa kutu nakatanayana niesa kutu esha. Namaste.
We are prone to deep thought and strong information, but yes, joy is important. Learning is important, and understanding is important. Talk to one another as if you are close friends and as if you are able to understand the deep concerns of each one's lives. For you are here to lift one another up and to shine in a way that is different from any other age that you have been a part of. Let this understanding be universal and be the example of joy, light, love, and understanding that your brothers and sisters may learn to accept and be part of.
Thank you. And then Christine was going to share her final word.
Blessed be all.
Thank you.
The interpretation of that is blessed be all.
And just in addition, we have several people asking for Grendel as a request. So
Well, actually, that is interesting because Grendel was here to talk about walk-ins.
See, they sensed him.
Yes.
I don't know if his take on walk-ins is going to be the one to listen to.
Well, he's in a walk-in situation right now.
That's true, right? So yeah.
So he came immediately when somebody asked for that. I said they were requesting walk-ins, and Grindal was there.
Oh,
So we'll see who comes first, though. I'm not sure if it's Grindal or who, but there's a bunch here. So let's get started.
great.
Let me take one sip of water first.
Yes, please. And also welcome Catalin, David, and who else is new? Catalin and David, welcome to the room. So great. Here we go.
All right. One moment, and I will be back.
See
Have a
you-
great session, everybody. Much love to you.
See you when you get back.
Greetings, I am Elijah.
Welcome, Elijah.
I've only come for a few moments, but I have a very important message for you. This is the time of much communication one to another, and it is important that you use the right words and the right significance speech to communicate one to another. Let me tell you something that is very important. You may think that you have a great and high vibration, but when you speak, if that vibration does not come forth in your voice and in your language, then it is not that your soul reflects it. You may feel that you might have a large understanding of all the things that you are saying to everyone around you, but if your vibration in your voice does not lift and bring forth the positivity that you are wanting to do, then there is something not in alignment. Bring your alignment into your voice, as well as into your person, as well as into your surroundings. This vibration should permeate all through every part of you out to the end of your aura. Your vibration should speak to those before you even say hello. Your vibration should be felt in a positive way before you even say a word. Because that vibration should be your essence. And if it is one part here, or one part here, and one part here, you must align and bring your vibration into a fullness and a brightness where it can shine the best. Remember, as you speak, as you bring forth that which you want to convey, your vibration must be high as the thought process. The thought process can be high, but the vibration of your voice, not. Others may hear something different than what you're trying to convey, because your vibration in your voice and in your speech is not lifted. Pray and be devoted to the fact that when you speak, everyone around will know the vibration of the words that you speak being a higher elevation than those of everyday third-dimensional vibrations. Let it be that they hear and feel what you are really trying to say through joy, love, and understanding, and not through forced understanding, forced recognition of the truth. For you cannot really force the truth. You may try, but it will come out differently than what you want it to. Let us be of one accord. When we speak to one another, practice this higher vibrational speech. Do not be judgmental one with another, and do not try to insult anyone through higher speech or higher language. There are those out there that will say many things, but what they are trying to do is bring down those around them because they're trying to sound higher or more profound or greater in their love and greater in their approach to spirituality. But what they're doing is condescending. Do not be one of those that says that, oh, I feel unincluded because I'm so spiritual. because that is not a truth. When you bring forth the true spirit of God, the true spirit of all things around you, inclusion will happen because they will want to gather the information. It is part of human nature to want that of God. Even though many may reject it, there's a part of them that hungers for that wholeness that only God can give. Accept that. And accept that you are going to bring forth the most positive message for everyone in your total vibration, not just the vibration of the heart, mind, or voice, but the whole essence of you must vibrate together and align so that you may uplift in all ways. For the body must be uplifted as well. Not just the thoughts, not just the mind, not just the heart, but all of you is enlightened or all of you is not.
So good. So good. Thank you, Elijah. So good.
And I leave you with this. 𝗪𝗘𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓 Ara moshunda voriara india. Kandi kora oriata santi. The prayer of the ages from the angels, early language that says, bless you all, and I bring you up in the spirit, and I bless you with the unity that is meant for all. The love that is not for one, but for all. The truth that is not for one, but for all. Shine brightly, and as you shine, continue to bring up those that seek diligently the word of God in its truth and in its fullness and in its completeness and love. For if it's not brought up in love, you are like a clanging bell or a cymbal that's just making noise.
Yeah.
Goodbye for now.
Thank you. Much love to you and blessings. Thank you for that.
We are the Dolphin and Well Alliance from Andromeda, connected to the Pleiades as well. It is not easy to communicate through water into the translator, but we will do this for you. Continue. We know there may be important questions about our peoples. We do not communicate with you nearly enough to give you the understanding that you need. Lift up your thoughts now, so that we may speak to you. What questions are out there that we may clarify your thoughts?
I believe Marlena will have a question. Or Marlene, go ahead.
Greetings. Thank you for answering our call. My question is twofold. The first part is, can you tell us what the status is of our oceans, and which area requires energy work, please?
The Atlantic Ocean is fair to good. The Pacific Ocean suffers, especially around the northern Japan area and many, many miles out to sea. Radiation still leaks. There are many that try to cleanse the oceans with their marvels of technologies. And the clairs under the ocean there also are helping to purify and remove radiation. But it has been sorely affected. Mother Earth has been damaged in a great way. More energy is needed for this area. And our peoples have suffered as well, because they do not or are not able to live in this kind of environment. Many species have been affected. We have seen what is happening and have brought energy of positivity to this region, as well as the southern region around Antarctica is also some areas where work is needed. But Gaia continues to thrive. What else can I say? But you need to send energies to these areas. Continue.
Thank you for clarification. My other question concerns the area around the Euphrates and the Tigris, please.
Yes.
How are the energies around that area, specifically in the southeast part of Turkey? Is it calm now?
There will always be positive energies there, for it is owned thoughtfully by those from many different eras and many different civilizations. The oldest civilizations live in Turkey or began in Turkey, and they are just now finding them covered in sand. Are you aware of this?
Yes, very well. Thank you.
Thank you. What do you call it in your earth language? Utepli?
Göbekli Tepe?
Yes, that is it. It is more than you can possibly imagine old. So therefore, and also Atlantis was very old. And these are now being discovered, that even where they found ancient ruins between the Tigris and the Euphrates, they are now finding even more ancient ruins around your planet. Earlier civilizations that were there. And these give rise to good vibrations, even though the negativity may want to destroy the good will not have it. It will all rise in the end. We see the veil of rising that comes, but not quite yet. It is all right.
Thank you. I woke up surrounded by your energies, and I felt that I just wanted to bask in it a little bit more. So thank you so much.
Our ships are out by Jupiter now. So we are close by, but we do not often communicate. But we welcome the opportunity at this time to speak. Is there anything else you wish from us?
Thank you for now. Thank you.
There's someone else that has a question.
Michelle has a question. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hi. I was just curious, you said older than you can even imagine. I was wondering if you could be more specific about the time frame.
My knowledge is not deep enough to know the exact time, but we studied the ancient past from your world to know that what you thought was ancient was not as ancient as what is being discovered now. And Atlantis was older than many people think, and they have not yet found the true clues of Atlantis, the true placements of it. They are finding that in Antarctica, there is civilization underneath Antarctica that was built in concentric circles as well. And it was an offshoot from Atlantis at one point. But this was not the main part of it. But it was part of it that did not get wiped out from the thought process. They did not fully destroy this area, and it so still exists. You will learn much from this if they share that information.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for the Dolphin High Council?
We are also Dolphin and Whale Alliance.
The
We do
Dolphin.
not want to forget our friends.
Thank you for the correction. Is there anyone that has any other questions?
It is all right. We will make room for others to come. It is difficult for us to stay here as it is, but we are happy to communicate with you today.
Thank you.
Goodbye, and blessings from our regions of space and time. For we give you blessing and want you to rise as well. Yeah. No, just a second. I have important information. Haha.
I'm not sure
Therefore,
this is.
I come. All right. All right.
Welcome.
Yes. There's some that talked about the walk-ins
Yes.
around your planet. This is an important question right now.
Okay.
This is an important time for walk-ins. Of course, they've happened all through the ages with different godlike species, as well as aliens coming in, spirits coming in. They're all different kinds of walk-ins, my dear friends. There is possession also, which is a sort of a uninvited walk-in in some ways and invited in other ways. So you have to understand there's all different kinds of ways for these things to happen. So what I want to do is find out what the question is really about, and I'll answer that portion of it first.
Okay.
What is that question?
I believe it was Yad that had the initial question. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Yad?
Yes.
Continue. Come up if you are here. Yeah. And what is your question?
I guess the initial question is of explaining the walk-in process that has to do with essences of more of who you are other than something else coming in.
Oh, all right. You're talking about true essence as a walk-in. Is that what you mean?
That's a good start.
That is interesting because what he is asking is that the true essence of your being as a walk-in from perhaps a life that was not, that is not present in this reality.
Yes.
So therefore, what he is saying is, I want to know all my true essence. Is it possible that that can happen, that we can all know our true essence from all of our past lives and our future lives?
Yes.
An incredible question. And the answer is yes, because when God made all of you in all the different forms that you were, he still put you in one body. With all your chakras, you have all the essence of all the lives behind you. When you become enlightened, more and more of those essence, the positive essence of each life, comes through you in a different and more positive, a more powerful way. Let's put it that way. A more lighted way. You may have great understanding from life number 5 and great different kinds of understandings from the different lives that you possess. But when you become one with all of these lives, you are incredibly enlightened beyond what can actually stay in this dimension. You would have to move to another dimension to experience all that truth. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
And a different realm to experience. So what will happen is this. Your body may exist here, but with all the understanding that you gather from the past and future, your mind will reach a different place. They call this nirvana. They call this enlightenment. They call this different places throughout history, where when they receive this kind of understanding, it takes them out of this realm. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
I could go into a greater depth with this, but I think that's what you need to know. And there are some from your planet that have experienced this. And I have never experienced it, but I know about it. It is not an easy thing because you must dedicate yourself to finding these truths from the past, bringing them into your meditations, intentionally intentioning your meditations to be about all the truths from past and present and future. And if you do this long enough, you will pass through that, what would we call it? Pass through that field, that filter,
Veil?
the veil, yes, if you will, the veil of greater understanding. And you can bring much of that back into your third dimension when you come down from it. If you wish to come down from it, there are those Tibetan monks and those in some places that choose to stay there for great periods of time, and their body is motionless. They do not move. They hardly breathe because their life is somewhere else. Do you understand?
I do.
Excellent. You understand, Karen? You understand?
Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you.
But now more about other walk-ins.
Associated with NDEs or accidents.
Oh, he's talking about NDEs or accidents. NDE is near-death experience, where you actually experience the afterlife for a very short period, some longer than others, and some see it in very similar ways, but different ways. But when you have a near-death experience, it's not a walk-in. You're walking into something else. It's not walking into you. You're going somewhere else. You're not being walked into. You're exiting the body and you're going somewhere else. These near-death experiences can be very eye-opening. You will see your relatives. They look younger. They look more vital. They are very happy. They are very glowing, in fact. You will run into friends that passed on before you. They will look younger. They will look more vital. And the children that passed on early that have not come back through reincarnation will look vital and know more things than a child should know, but only in a good way. But they will teach you that life does exist beyond this veil. It teaches you that there are greater existences, but it doesn't really teach you how to live there or what everything is there, because you're only there for such a short time, a glimpse, if you will, of the afterlife. And this is something that many have experienced and many have written about. So what question other than that do you have? I feel that you want to experience that you want to know that is true. It is true. It does exist, and it is part of something beyond this lifetime, this realm. Yeah, it is. I will speak of other things as well.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah. Question here.
Now,
Yeah.
talking about near-death experiences. Now, I had one a couple of years ago.
You did?
Yes. Now,
Yeah.
Can you tell me, I know it's kind of personal, but can you tell me how far into the life, because I was told by Father that I will remember one day.
Yeah, you started to go in. If you were into the light all the way, you would remember seeing faces and bodies and ethereal, some things that are there, because you bring that back. You actually do. because it's not like going to the astral plane or something where you cannot necessarily remember it. This is not the astral plane. This is actually a different realm, a different place altogether. And so if you made it all the way through, you would see faces and bodies and people and things of that nature. But if you were only on your way, you would see a bright light. You would see the great essence of God opening up before you so that you can enter. This is your welcome mat.
Father said if I took one more step, I wouldn't be here.
If he took one more step, you wouldn't be there. However, there are some that have made it all the way through and come back. But if you would have made it through, he knows that you would have stayed because you wouldn't have wanted to come back. Some people don't come back. Of course, it's not an NDE, it's a death, but it is, there are those that do experience that. So, and you started to experience that with the great light.
Well, I definitely did come back different. There was a difference in me.
There is always. Why is that? Let me tell you why. Because you know it's true. You feel that space. You know the energy of that different realm. You know that energy of going into the light. Even in the light, there's a different feel, a different energy, and a different kind of love experience that ignites the entire body and soul and spirit. And as you go out, the soul becomes excited. It becomes on fire. It becomes overjoyed. It becomes greater than it ever was.
It is.
And so you come back different.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very well. All right. Any other questions about walk-ins?
Michelle has a question. Go ahead, Michelle.
It's not where I was intending to go, but I liked it. Yeah.
Okay, Grendel, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, I did.
So, actually, I met somebody this last week who is cognizant that she is a walk-in, and she did not go through a near-death experience. And she said, "Wait a minute, Michelle, you're a walk-in." She's like, "Let me double check," and I was like, "Okay, well that makes sense because I had an ND or something like that, like in 2013."
Yeah.
But then it occurred to me that my personality is not different at all. And so I had my daughter check in and she said it was like in your early 20s. And so I want to get A, clarification, and B, if that is true, why and what is the actual process of a soul coming to take over for another soul who I'm guessing can't hack it? Like,
not necessarily. There are different reasons for walk-ins. Not all of them are because they can't hack it. The reason for my walk-in in the 60s, I walked into a military body at that in my earlier days. That I came in to a body that needed healing. It was that they were going to pass, but I wanted to use that soldier's body for the next several years. So I gave him an opportunity for me to walk in, and then when I leave, he would be healed.
mm-hmm.
That was my part in giving him a new life, but also getting the work that I needed done as well. That's just one example. Now, your friend's life, the walk-in was, she volunteered to have a walk-in come in. She wanted a greater life. She wanted a greater existence. So she asked, perhaps, or listened as someone asked if she would give over her body for a while, or even for the rest of her life, to a different walk-in. And this is possible. If there is a greater mission, there can be other walk-ins come in. Now, in your case, I don't see that it was really a walk-in. I think they walked in and walked back out. But I think that you haven't changed at all. You haven't really, there was some interaction and some kind of, there was another soul that was trying to invade your space, but never succeeded completely. You wouldn't give it up. And that is good, because I don't think it was a positive being. And so thank you for not letting them take over. But they did have some possessions at one time on you, but you refused them and pushed them out because they did not come invited. And if they come uninvited, if you are cognizant of mind, can actually push them back out because they weren't invited.
But that was a couple decades ago, or 3
That was, yes. Mhm.
Okay. And so, which means that I'm still owning the same soul I came in with?
Absolutely. Yep, you're the same. You're still on the same plane that you started. Yes.
Okay. And if I were, say, for instance, okay, when in 2013 when I had kind of the near-death experience situation,
Yeah.
or at least it's been told to me that way, that I did die and I chose to come back. I don't know if that's accurate.
Do you remember it?
I don't remember it. No.
All right. Go ahead. Continue.
But if a part of myself or another, I don't know, friendly soul or a friend, so they could say, hey, Michelle, your body doesn't have to die. I'll finish out your mission or whatever. Is that how that works?
Not necessarily. Yes, in a few cases it might be that way, but very few. Mostly what they walk in to do is give you extra energies and increase your mission, make it greater than it was originally. Mm-hmm. And although you have a mission already, they can enhance it and bring it to more people or make it brighter in some way. And if they see that there's an opportunity to do that, they may ask you to walk in. Now, there are some walk-ins that people do not ask for, that it is foretold through their contract in the Oversoul that at a certain point they will have this walk-in. And there are some like that. And in that case, they do feel the personality change, and they actually know something different has happened.
Right.
They turned over a different thought process, and they are no longer the same as what they were before.
Right. So one could, in theory, just ask for, could you, if you felt like you were like really on the outs and you couldn't complete your mission, like if, say, someone was suicidal or whatever, and they didn't want to do that, could they ask for it? Like,
first of all, you have to be cognizant of mind. If someone is suicidal, usually they are not into the metaphysical and not into understanding of what can happen to them. They're just brought down into their own base efforts. Yes. So you need to lift them out of that before they could even think about doing a walk-in, because you would mention that to a suicidal person, they're going, yeah, walk in this. Yeah, all right, I understand that. So they're not going to be very open to that thought. They're going to say, walk into what? This map? Yeah, you don't want that. No. But it's funny, but it's not. So because they're not even open to that kind of situation. And no one that is a higher essence, spiritual essence, would want to walk into that.
Right.
I mean, if you are a higher essence, some may sacrifice and do it.
Right.
But they would have to ask for it. And the chances of them asking for it are very slim.
Okay.
But who would want to put themselves in that place to try to bring up a person that is suicidal? You would have to, it would have to be a complete 360-degree turnaround, and those kinds of situations are very rare.
Gotcha. All right.
They're not impossible, but they're rare.
Very, very interesting.
Yes. And
Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
I love you. Bye.
I have another quick question.
Yeah, get up here.
Now, March 26th in the evening between 8:50 and 8:30, I saw a Stargate open and close. Do you know who exited to the Stargate? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I wasn't watching it that time. But it was, I think it was the Spiricos's people because he's right there.
That's what I thought. I didn't
There's a lot of 𝗪𝗘𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 in that area. So I think it was those reptilians that came in and out. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. All right. All right. Anything else? I wanted to share.
Yeah, there's sure.
yeah.
Go ahead. There's many questions, but if you want to share something that
No, go ahead. I think that they'll probably draw it out of me anyway.
Okay. Let me just start at the top here. 1 second. Okay. Firstborn is asking, can you ask what secrets lie in Antarctica?
Oh, many secrets lie in Antarctica. First of all, there's a city there. There's a ship there. There's a time machine there. There's a ton of scientists there, because also not only are those artifacts all there, but there is evidences of ice ages and global warming and things of this nature that you can't find anywhere else on the planet in such quality, because it's an undisturbed area, meaning that it's one of the areas where even though there's a lot of snow and there's a lot of trauma there with the wind, it covered over quickly, and a lot of things are preserved there. Like there's fields that they were digging down, and they found green fields and animals frozen instantaneously into this field, and they were wondering what that all was about. That was how fast the ice age struck at that particular period of time. It was instantaneous cold because the planet had flipped over. Did that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So it went from this sort of temperate place, which wasn't really warm, but it went to freezing cold in a matter of very short period of time. They would think that it happened within less than a day.
Okay.
Because of how quickly the animals froze in their place. The green was frozen there in its place. It had no time to deteriorate, had no time to have any change. Everything was frozen that quickly. So there's so many things going on at the South Pole that it's hard to keep track of it all.
Okay. There's a question.
But they are making some great finds. There is a ship there. There is a concentric kind of circles down below the ice and land areas that is looking like it could be an Atlantis kind of city, because it is rumored that Atlantis was built in concentric circles. So this looks like something like that.
Okay. Very interesting. Richard Hausman asks, can hybridization actually happen with humans?
Yes.
Okay.
Humans have all been hybridized throughout the millennia. Thousands of years of hybridization. But yes, if your children, Richard, are all human hybrids. So they have human in them. And so they could take that alien hybrid and put it in a human and have a hybridization as well. So yes, humans are not part of that hybridization program as far as being the birth mothers, not yet, but that will be a part of the future coming, but not quite yet.
Can you also answer questions about hybrid children? Because Richard has a question about his hybrid children.
Yes.
He has 3 Zeta Gray children. He hasn't
Yes.
talked to them. Their names are Quintus, Zarina, and Octavius.
Yes. What about them? Yes, I know of them.
Say something about
He
them.
has a lot of hybrid children, and they're very interesting children because a lot of his traits are in them, or in most of them. Not all of them, but most of them. His thought process, his leadership, his thought processes, his likes and dislikes are in about 80% of them. So that is really quite interesting.
Okay, Anna says there's a lot of talk about the approaching of Planet X. Is it close by? When will it affect us, and to what degree?
It won't return until 2850, around there. It's really not close by. Okay. And a lot of people say that it is. They see it out by the sun. That's a Stargate, and that Stargate brought tons of ships into this solar system, and that's why the solar areas, the solar microscopes were all shut down at once, because it was so obvious. You could obviously see these ships coming through, and so the governments did not want anyone to see that. So this is a Stargate out by the sun, and not Planet X. Also, Planet X is a very strange, elliptical, incredibly elliptical pattern around a rotation around the sun, and it will not be back for several, until, let's see, 2850, I think it is.
We probably won't be around us, this group of people. Maybe we'll be back several times between.
That does not mean that the Anunnaki will not visit, because the Anunnaki, that is their home planet. Anu and Enlil and all those Enki and all those guys, they are still alive. They live thousands of years and have been alive for a long, long time. They're still alive. So I don't know when they're going to pass. I don't really know much about the that species, other than they're very interesting and they're very godlike. So, but Planet X, Nerubu, I think it's called, or Nerubu. I'm not.
Something I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. All right.
Also, they've gone through another. They've gone through another evolution where they're even more advanced. So when they come back, they will probably judge this planet, because they feel very godlike and they're very judgmental, which is strange. It's very strange that they would have that trait still within them, but it is true. That's what I hear anyway.
Okay, interesting. All right. Adaman Shukla says, I'm aware that the dolphins form close-knit families. This should have been maybe for the dolphins, but he said, sometimes I feel like I don't really belong to my family, as they are so different from me. So what is your perspective on how to deal with this?
Well, first of all, yes, you're from a higher realm of understanding. You chose to come into this family for some reason, but you do feel a great disconnect from third dimension. And you have to learn to become yourself in this realm. This is your challenge. You have to be yourself and do the things that you need to do, and not be affected completely by those that are around you. Your challenge is to be what God made you to be, and that is difficult. for some, because there's more than just yourself that are in these kinds of situations. So become your true self, and you will overcome all these differences, because you will be a light to others. An example, they may not like you at first. They may find you to be arrogant, or they may think that you're trying to be greater than them or show them up, but you must be yourself, and in a humble way as well, so that they can see the truth and be able to work with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I've just got 2 more questions.
Yeah.
Let me see. Rocco says, can you tell us something about the pyramids of Bosnia? Who made them? How old are they?
All pyramids were made by the ancient aliens, different species, but mostly when you're finding a pyramid, it's an Orion pyramid. The Orions were all over this planet at one point and building pyramids everywhere. The reason for this is their power stations. They know how to harness the power from a pyramid angle. They know how to make it into a transporter station. They know how to make it into a communication center. They know how to make it into just a power power holder, a battery in some ways. They know how to ionize things through it. They know how to send things through it. So yes, it was the Orions that made the pyramids. That was their idea, and it really united the world at some point so that they could communicate and travel all over the world instantaneously to check on all the different civilizations that they were part of. Now, there were several different areas where the Orions were visiting and did this visitations and pyramids, and they gave plans to other species to build the pyramids to help them. The Sirians, for example, the Anunnaki actually was helping. The Anunnaki considered themselves in charge always, but the Pleiadians were helpful with this. But it was just that the canine people actually were a part of that. They helped with building of the pyramids, with the technology there. But it was the idea of the Orions, and that pyramids could be made out of rock and stone and these different elements instead of metals. And so that is why everyone went along with them, is to keep it more natural for that. And also stone would last and not deteriorate in some ways better than other materials that they had. Now, for them to leave behind a metal that was not found in modern times, they did that, of course, but it was not necessarily a smart thing to do. So they did build with the stone, like the Orion suggested. So yes, those Bosnian pyramids are made by Orions, and they are very powerful. They're a huge communication center. There's several pyramids in that area.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Are you taking personal questions, or would you refer them to contacting you directly or contacting Jim directly?
What's that?
Personal question.
I have some personal questions here, and I'm
all right, very good.
Would you prefer they contact Jim directly, or would you?
Yes, just call me. Yeah, call Jim. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be there with him.
Okay, perfect.
I have a question.
All right,
Yeah.
then. Christine has a question. Is there a question in the room?
Yes, there's a question here in the room, I think. Somebody else came in, so they are sort of disrupted there a little bit. All right, we're good. All right.
Okay, Christine has a question. Go ahead, Christine.
Yeah.
Hello, Grendel. I have a friend who had taken a DNA test.
Yes.
It came up with nothing, or so the company said. So the company did a second DNA testing and nothing came up. So they gave her money back. And somewhere during this time or later, she admitted that she's been having visits from aliens since she was a child.
Yeah. You mean one of those Ancestry.com things?
Yes.
All right. The reason why they found nothing is because she's highly alien. That is why they don't have a test for alien. Those tests are like Scotland, England. It is possible this is her first time on Earth. It is her first visitation. And if that is the case, she will not have any ancestry in her DNA. It will all be alien. And they're not testing for Sirian, Orion, Anunnaki, and all that. They're testing for, was she Japanese or Egyptian? What part of
Mexican American?
What?
She's Mexican American.
Yes. But you see, they're testing the blood because in the blood you will find different parts of the. You see, this shows that reincarnation is true, because it will tell you what areas of the world that you lived in the past.
Right.
So if it can do that, then it is true that reincarnation exists. They'll say that they did it through your ancestry, that, oh, they went back and this is where everything is, but they're actually finding in the DNA because some ancestries end, and they don't understand why these ancestries end. And that's one reason why these Ancestry.coms exist, is because scientists are now studying why some ancestries disappear, why some ancestries are so diverse, because they don't find in the background that they've been to the Chinese area. However, in the blood, in the DNA, there is remnants of that portion of the soil or air samples that are in their DNA from Russia or from China or these places that they don't have any relatives from. So the scientists are studying this because it's a very big question. It's like what happened to the missing link kind of thing. They'll never find it because the missing link actually was evolved several centuries worth in a few days. So they're not going to find these kind of things. So this is why they're studying it, and that is why she has no history or DNA. Her DNA shows nothing. It's all alien.
Interesting. Is there something to worry about for her that maybe the government might get involved, or is somebody keeping track of this?
There are people keeping track of this, but they cannot. If she's not having, they might. Did you say she's having a lot of visitations?
Well, she's not. When she was young, she's not admitting to any of them now.
Of course.
But it might just be because she doesn't want to talk about it anymore. And
well,
my friend
is, the government won't bother her at this point until they see if other aliens are starting to come to her again, then they will start observing her again. But without any clues to what civilization she's actually even from, there's no interest. They need connections. They need to find connections.
So is there anything I could tell her to
just that she is a starseed. I actually know where she's from. I could tell her, but I don't want to announce that here. But I could tell her where she's from. I can tell her that she's from a very higher realm of existence. She had to come here to experience this realm for several reasons. It's not been an easy life for her.
No.
So it's been one of those lives that she has to grow and experience because she needs this knowledge from this life to be able to do her final missions.
Okay.
I wonder if her parents, if they did a DNA test on her parents, if there would anything would come out, or one of her
A
siblings.
good question. I'm sure that they would, because she came through from a higher dimension. Her parents must be very interesting, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to meet them and go, yeah, so what planet are you from? I bet you know. I bet they know that they were going to have a starseed in some ways.
Okay.
They were advanced. I think that they were Jim can't pronounce that name. 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗧𝗡𝗧. They were there.
Okay. Oh, okay. When I have a private session with Jim, I'll ask more questions. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. She's actually pretty blessed not to have this pretty ratty DNA sometimes, but it's not that bad really. But yeah. What's the question?
We know how you feel. We know how you feel, Grendel.
Yeah. Well, reptilian DNA is like so much stronger. It's very vital, very. We have a great immune system. What do you have to say?
What do you have to say? I'm wondering, do you know about the GPS reboot that's going to happen?
Oh, the reset that happens every so many years on your planet. They just have to do that to keep the seasons in line. Because if you're noticing, your spring is more wintry and your summer is more springy. So your seasons are a little off balance at this time. And plus, it is because the axis is not going to flip over, that it's an absolute necessity to keep these everything in line, the seasons in line. The reset of the atomic clock is vital to keep everything in line, because eventually, if they didn't do that, your winter would be summer and your summer would be winter. It would just eventually get to that point, but it would take a long time. So they just reset it while it's not too bad.
So what actually happens during this reset? They just hit a button and it just...
Well, it's not that simple. The reset of the atomic clock is in Greenwich. Isn't it? Where is it? In Greenwich? It's in England, yeah. And this atomic clock keeps a record of time to the billionth of a second or whatever. It's really, really accurate on galactic time, basically, in all time. So, but especially for your planet. But it tells time in other dimensions as well. That's how accurate this clock is. And what they do is they have to stop it. And they have to know exactly when to restart it. This will play havoc with some of your clocks, like in your phone, and all the things that are on atomic clock time. It will play havoc with that because they have to turn it. They have to change it because it's not correct for this world at this time. So they have to adjust the clock and turn it back on. Now, that doesn't mean that when they turn it back on, the time is going to be really very different. It's not going to be at all. That they just have to maneuver how the clock is with the seasons and with the sun. I know it sounds a little strange, but that is what it does. They have to actually adjust it. And that adjustment will be several days, actually, but it will still come up at the same time for you because they'll turn it off, they'll adjust it, and they'll turn it back on. They know exactly where to adjust it to. So they'll adjust it really fast. Won't take more than a minute because they know exactly what they have to do. And this clock is meant to do these kinds of adjustments because they realize that we are not living in the exact hour schedule that you might think. This planet says, oh, we have a 24-hour day, but it's 24 hours and what, 8 minutes or something. And over time, that 8 minutes adds up and it throws everything off. Do you understand that?
Yes.
So that is the necessity for it. Because if you keep that 8 minutes going on forever, your seasons will change. Your spring will be in summer, your summer will be in fall. It's just the way it is. Yeah.
So it's a good thing then.
It actually is, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, there's an additional question from Yad, and he's asking about the Orion Federation, who they are and what their mission is on Earth, and also going forward with beings that are from Orion incarnated here, how are they impacting our world?
Well, the Orions are a little upset right now. Why? Because the Pleiadians have taken over for the time for the Orion power is over on Earth. They're not in charge of the Earth. The Pleiadians are now in charge of the ascension and of the next evolution, and they are in charge of that. Where the Orions were in charge earlier with all the temples, with all the megalithic societies and things of that nature that happened earlier before the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius now brings in the Pleiadians. So the Orions are very important still. They are the ones that made all the stargates on the planet. But remember this, they made those stargates thousands of years ago, and now they're no longer pointing to the right portion of the sky to be able to transport people anymore. So they have to come back and they have to find all these stargates where they know exactly where they are. They have to reset them to the right part of the sky again so that they can eventually be restarted. So that is one of the things that the Orions must do, and that's why they are on Earth at this time. They're also in charge of the skulls. They're the ones that had brought the skulls to the Earth. These skulls actually control the stargates and control a great amount of energy. They actually control some vortexes. Yeah. And they control other things. However, the Pleiadians are here now, and the Orions feel a little bit, like I want to still be in charge. So it's not that it's not a power struggle, but it is a very big disappointment that they can't do all the things that they want to do. But the Pleiadians are not fighting with them or anything, but they are in charge of it at this time. It's one of those incredible galactic they push against each other, but they're not fighting. Does that make sense? But the Orions are very important, and they know it. And the Pleiadians know that as well. But more Pleiadian beings are on the planet than Orions, because now Pleiadians have a message for Earth. Now the Pleiadians have a thought process. Tesla was a Pleiadian. So other beings that were very advantageous to Earth's development were Pleiadians as well. So they are coming back. They're going to be talking more about energy, talking more about the different kinds of energies and powers that can help humanity through Tesla as a higher self to one one of the great Pleiadians that are here. So I'm surprised they don't want me to mention how many Pleiadians are here. And they don't want me to mention who they are yet either. That will be coming soon, though. You will hear their names many times in the future, because once they take control in the mission that they have, you will hear about them. And they're alien-born humans, meaning that the alien is within the human, and the alien will make himself known as the alien that it is. Some of you know of aliens that are humans, etc., that are existing on the world already. These are even more powerful aliens that have come for a greater reason. So that is something to look forward to. That'll be interesting when they come forth.
Interesting. The question was also asking about Orions that are incarnated. And
The
how
Orions that are incarnated are here to manage the vortexes that they had originally created and the stargates. The stargates, they are in astral, as they are inborn into this world. Their astral mission is to correct the stargates, correct all the directions of the stargates, so they're pointing in the right area of the sky to actually transport again. And there are 52 smaller stargates around the planet, and they have to actually, those ones were used more for Earth-to-Earth travel, but a couple of them were geared for outer space travel as well. But they have to get these smaller stargates working again as well, because they're not all time and weather and them being out of third dimension. They're shifted out of third dimension so that no one would find them, and so that they can work on them in peace. But at this point, 2 of them have already been found by humans. 2 stargates have already been found. One in the area of the Middle East, and one in, I think, it's Antarctica. So 2 of them have been uncovered. There might be a third one in South America. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But they're getting, you see, they've run into this energy they could not understand in the ground. And so what they did is they did a full scan of that energy, and they see the shape of the Stargate. They see that it's there, but they don't know how to get to it or make it third dimensional. But they know it's there.
Interesting.
And in a couple of different places. And so they're wondering how many of these exist. There's 12 very large ones and 52 smaller ones. About 6 of the 52 smaller ones can accommodate space travel as well, because of where they are location-wise.
Okay. Interesting. So just to go a little further, thank you for that. And that was a question from Daniel.
Yeah.
Now, the question is from 𝗪𝗓𝗓, and she says, what spaceship landed in Venezuela a few weeks ago? Venezuelan people were wondering. Thank you.
There was a spaceship that landed in Venezuela, and it was from, it was Orion. It was an Orion spaceship. That is territorially their biggest area. The Orions spent a lot of time in South America, and they were in the Egypt area, and they were in many areas where the pyramids are. But their main rule was up through, from Mexico down through Central America to South America. That is their area. That is the area where most Orions really had a lot of foothold.
I have a question again.
All right.
There's another question here.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Go ahead.
on that same subject, 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗡𝗧𝗡 came to us and asked us to help him protect Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
Do you know an update on that?
𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗡𝗧, yes. They did break through to the first part of his grave area. But it's not that part that he was worried about. There is another section behind the wall that had collapsed that they have not found, and that is where he does not want anyone to go. So they are thinking that they found the whole of the grave, the tomb of 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗡𝗧, but they have not. There is another room that has technology in it that is behind a very thick wall that has collapsed, and they're not even checking for technology or anything of that nature in the walls. They were just checking to see if the walls are hollow, and they cannot tell that because the thickness of the debris between the two rooms is probably 6 feet or something like that. So knocking on the wall will not do anything. So they will eventually find it because they would get ultrasound. But right now they're just very fascinated with all the different artifacts they're finding in this particular part of the tomb.
Thank you.
So he is not in any danger at the moment. He has actually been protected by that wall of debris. Yeah.
Interesting.
So there you have it.
Very interesting. Ava, are you still there? Do you want to ask your question?
Eva, my dear, how are you?
I don't know if she's still here. She said she had to go.
Oh, she's gone.
Okay.
That's a bummer. Okay.
All right. There's a question from well, it's a personal question from Krullik. I don't know if you want to take it or ask him to.
And is there any other questions? Well, personal. How personal is it? Can everybody understand something from it?
Maybe.
All right. Go ahead.
He remembers meeting reptilians in his astral form.
Yep.
Remembers they were green.
Yep.
Can you connect to my brain and read the energy of the beings and see who they were?
They're 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗡𝗧𝗡. They are the most active of the reptilians right now. They're more active than any other species around the planet almost, other than the Pleiadians and the Orions. So the 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗡𝗧𝗡 really want to make friends with the Earth, and this is their time that they are really trying to communicate with many civilizations and many governments.
Okay. Safira is asking, she says, do you hear people who call you for help, and do you remove implants for people this way if they ask?
Of course, yes. If you call me and I do find an implant, if it's not something good and positive, it will be removed. Yeah.
AJ's asked, what steps can be taken in the future to improve relationships between humans and reptilians?
I think that they have to look beyond the looks first. Most reptilians would be seen as ugly and would be reported to be demonic because of their look. But when you actually get to know the 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗡𝗧𝗡, the friendly reptilians, and the reptilians that are all the positive ones, the Zestoids like myself, we're getting more positive. We're sort of on the border. But once they get to know these beings, instead of just look at them and judge them as evil, they will get to know that they are working for a positive and more beautiful unity between all the worlds. Really, they are really quite courageous at this point in what they're doing, because they are making inroads for first contact, because they want to be there for first contact, they're not going to be the first to come, but they want to be right next in line. So they are really trying to overcome the stereotypes of what people believe reptilians are.
Okay. I was thinking about it. If a reptilian showed up at my door, I hope that I would be able to hold it together.
Would you buy a Girl Scout cookie from a reptilian?
If they were wearing a Girl Scout uniform, I might.
Well, yeah, especially if you have a big tooth.
Maybe that's the key. What if they came dressed in Girl Scout uniforms?
I think that would make a difference, don't you?
It would make a difference.
Yes, I ate this little girl. Now I'm selling her cookies. So
see, there's where your theory falls down about people being afraid.
Yes, exactly. See, they would think, oh, this reptilian ate this little girl. Now he's selling their cookies.
It depends on how well the outfit fit.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a question from, oh shoot, hold on. People keep in the chat, so I keep losing the question. 1 second, let me get back to it. Nobody typed.
I know how that is. I've looked at that before.
Yeah. Okay, 1 second. Shoot. Wait, hold on. I had it, then I lost it. It was a good question.
Yeah.
Nobody posts, so I can hold this question. Okay, here it is. Hank Newman asks, we requested the Pleiadian Delta Force for assistance. Can you give an update on what's going on in Angkor Wat area as the shield of protection has been removed?
Yeah. There are reasons for this. Everything is fine. They did it on purpose to bring through certain beings that were having problems and needed to get away escape from some other vector of space. I won't say which vector. So yes, this is all well and good. So that area of space will be reshielded.
Okay. And then Steve is saying he's willing to help with reptilian PR in case that.
Oh, thanks, Stephen. I mean, really, I'm going to come to your house, and if you don't scream, I'll really mean it. No.
You're invited to come to my house, but you have to wear a Girl Scout outfit. That's
all right.
That's our code. That's now our code. Maybe just not the outfit, but the sash.
Yeah.
No Girl Scout caught in your teeth either, please. Thank you.
I have a rolling in sand pin. Yeah, I have several things on my sash that might be interesting to you. Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll give you a badge for visiting.
Yeah. It's my rolling in sand badge. You have to roll for several hours. So
okay.
Good. I am rolling in mud sash. Yeah. Anyway.
Linda says she's seen lights, ships. Can you tell who they are? I don't know if you can tell from that question, but it's Linda Weichman, and she says there's many color lights.
Many color lights. Okay, that could be a couple of different ones. That also could be an 𝗪𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 Zendi presence. But I know they only have 5 ships in the solar system. But if they get too close to the atmosphere, it does show up as sort of like spherical colored balls. And also it could be the Arcturians too. Arcturians have that kind of look. There's so many ships out there that look a lot alike these days because technology is being shared and the orb is very popular. The three-sided ship is very popular. The cigar-shaped ship is very popular. There are several of them that are out there that are many different civilizations are using them, but they would have their markings on the side. So I couldn't tell you without seeing the markings, truly.
Okay, perfect. And then I think we have time for one last question. Yad Daniel's asking the question. He says, most people need food to live, but there are saints who do not need food. My question is, where do they get the energy and how do they use this energy to have a healthy body?
Well, if you understand breatharianism, which is the total lack of food and water to survive, you will understand that the air, the plants, the wind, the ocean, everything around you has nutrients that the body can absorb. Now, the body is not used to absorbing it. It's used to bringing it in through food and water. So therefore, some of these saints have just learned how to use their bodies as a sponge for these kinds of absorb this kind of prana, yes, and these natural supplements in a natural way so they can survive. They don't need to have food or water. They can just bring it in and absorb it. It comes through the skin. It comes through the body in every place that there's an opening or an orifice. And they learn where these nutritious areas are. Swamps are very nutritious. And there's saints that have survived in the swamps without eating because they are able to bring these nutrients in through their bodies. As the wind blows, it blows nutrients from other places, from the water, from the ocean. It blows them inland, and you can get these nutrients as well. But it's best to be close to water. Yeah. But yes, that is how they do it. But God has actually opened them up so that they can absorb these nutrients through the body. And when you are close to God, of course, light becomes a nutrient as well. I'd have to explain that in some other ways, but light is also part of their nutrition because light has vitamin A and D and other vitamins in it that is crucial to the body's existence. So you have everything around you giving you nutrition.
So is it, just to take the question a little further, so all these people that are doing breatharianism now, are they actually succeeding, or is it just they're sort of
it's not your point in evolution to succeed, but some of them are succeeding up to a point.
Right.
What I'm saying is this: there are some that are going 1 and 2 weeks with very little nutrition, and then they'll take in nutrition, and then they'll wait. They'll do that for a week, and then they'll go maybe a couple more days. They'll go a week and 2 days or 3 days without nourishment, and then they'll come back to food. They're actually learning gradually. But it's hard to do all at once. You can't do it all at once. You are not incarnationally equipped for that.
Right. Okay, perfect. Okay, well, Grendel, thank you so very much. You've spent a lot of time. I'm sure Jim's throat will thank us.
Yeah, you guys are heartless. No. All right.
Like it when you show up, so we try to keep you as long as possible, but thank you for that.
Yeah. I'm sure he's okay. He won't die of throat cancer yet. So anyway, much love to you. I love you very much. All right, have a great day.
Thank you.
Now to get out of here. Yeah. All right.
Do it
All right,
slowly.
goodbye.
Be careful.
Yeah. Tail injuries. Yeah. Yeah. Good thing they grow back.
Oh.
Well, yeah, but it's not an easy. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Someone be ready with water for Jim for his throat. Honey, tea, and lemon.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back.
Hello. How are you doing?
Fine. How's your throat?
Actually, not bad.
How's your tail area?
Mine is fine.
Good. Good. Well, we had a really delightful talk with Grendel and
All right. I hope everybody had a good session.
I think so. I don't have any complaints on our side. What about in your room?
Okay. I sounded okay. Good. Good. All right. Well, have a great day, everybody. Thank you for coming. And don't forget that the workshop is from August 8th to August 12th, and it's gonna be really fun and unique. And there's gonna be some new people there. There's gonna be some people that never missed a single workshop.
Wow.
There are four-time
repeaters.
Repeaters
Wow.
that go to every workshop. So that's very cool as well. I love them. They are so cool. So, and that we have some new people coming as well. So it's really cool.
Very good. And there's still time to sign up, so we can.
Oh yes, we have room for at least 10 more.
Okay. So between now, just go to the website, hucolo.org, and you can find all the information on the Ascension workshop. You can sign up, make your deposit, select your room, all that good stuff.
Yes, it is. They're double rooms. If you want a single room, please let us know so that we can talk to the management. I'm not sure how we're going to get that, but
It may be more.
it might be a little more for you if you want a single room. But we have double rooms, 10 double rooms. You would only have one roommate. So a lot of people have already picked their roommates. So it's cool.
Okay. Very cool. And then also coming up, possibly on May the 18th and the 19th, will be a galactic healing a galactic energy healing class. But please, if you're interested in that, send a message to Jim so that he can know if it's worth it to go ahead and do the class.
All right. And Laura Kurt in Australia is also doing galactic energy healing classes in Queensland, North Coast.
Yes. So also send a message to Jim.
If you want to know about those, she's a very good teacher. If you want to know about those, she's already taught a couple classes of it, I think. But she wants to get that going because Australia seems to be a place that wants a lot of information about that. So
yes, they love
get in touch with me, and I'll get you in touch with her because she will have a live class there at Queensland.
Perfect.
So,
Australia is a beautiful place, and it's very spiritual. They're all across the whole country. They're really tapped in there. So
people there that are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we will see you in 2 weeks on the 20th.
Yes, I will be back on the 20th.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll see all of you then.
Perfect. Okay, so until next time, next week I'll be doing something, channeling and talking a little bit about my trip in India. So
excellent. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
See you everyone next week. Much love to you, and until next time.
All right.